Welcome to Synth University.
Hello, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be making two sounds from the song 24K Magic by Bruno Mars.
Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24K.
Both of these sounds are relatively easy to make, and like most of my videos, we're going to be using all stock plugins and software synths. So today we're using Logic. You can also use MainStage, and if you have these programs, then you have everything you need to make these sounds. If you're new to the channel, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. This sound was requested by another viewer, so if there's a sound that you would like to see me make, please don't hesitate to hit the comments below. You can also get these two sounds as part of my new retro synth pack, which is in the description below. The two sounds we're going to make today are the stab that you hear in the song and the pluck. I'm going to break down how to make these two sounds, and then at the end of the video I'll give a brief tutorial on how to play them, and I'll give a really quick glimpse into putting these two sounds in MainStage so that you can play them simultaneously. We're going to start by making the stab sound. I've already got it pulled up here with a couple of plugins, but we're going to deactivate them, and we're going to go into retro synth and recall the default. So now we have this sound. So after we've recalled the default, we're going to go to settings and change the polyphony to 8. In oscillator 1, we're going to leave the shape as a saw wave, and we're going to turn the vibrato all the way down. In shape 2, we're also going to leave it as a saw wave, but we're going to turn the semitones up to 24 and the sense just up 1, very slightly detuning it. And in mix, we're going to slightly angle it more towards oscillator 1 by making it 0.4. In the filter section, we're going to change it to 24 dB lush fat. We're going to turn the cutoff up to about 5.5. We're going to turn the filter FM up slightly. Envelope amount is going to go up just a tiny bit. Now looking at the filter envelope, we're going to take the attack down to 0. Decay is going to go up to 750. The sustain is going to come down to about 0.57. And the release is going to go down to 97. Next, in the amp envelope, we're going to take it almost down to 0. The decay is going to come down as well. And the sustain is going to go all the way up to 1. And the release is going to go down to 1. So this gives it a very quick cutoff while still maintaining its full volume. And we have something that sounds like this. We're getting closer. Let's add some chorus. We're actually going to leave the settings it gives us here as is. So now we have this. We're getting closer, but we still don't have the fullness of the chorus effect and the forwardness that we hear on the record. So we're going to start off by adding the ensemble. This can be found in the modulation section. We're actually going to start by using a preset, which is Synth String Ensemble, but we're going to go to LFO2 and turn the rate down to about 1.5, and we're going to take down the output mix to 41, which gives us this sound. Next, we're going to bring the sound more forward, make it perhaps sound a bit more full, and give it a stronger attacking character by adding some compression. We're actually going to use a preset on this one as well, FET Clav, which is in the keyboard section. Now we have this sound. Lastly, we're going to add some tape delay, just to give it a tiny bit of slapped back delay. And we're going to recall the default. We're going to turn off tempo sync and move the delay time down to 118. That's close enough. The feedback goes down to 9. And the wetness is going to go all the way down to 1%. So hardly anything. And that leaves us with the final sound of this. And that's the stab sound. Let's move on to the pluck. We're also going to be using retro synth. So I'm going to disable these plugins. And we're going to recall the default. We'll start off by leaving oscillator 1 in the saw shape. We're going to leave shape modulation the same. For oscillator 2, we're going to be using a pulse wave or a square wave. We're going to take it up 2 octaves. The mix is going to slightly angle towards oscillator 1 at 0.45. In the filter section, we're going to change it to lush fat again. Cutoff is going to come up to about 0.664. And the envelope is going to come up just slightly. Now, for getting the pluck sound, the envelope sections are by far the most important. So in the filter envelope, we're going to take the attack down to 0. Decay is going to come down as well. Sustain is going to come down almost all the way, which is very important for a pluck sound. And the release will come down a little bit as well. In the amp section, we're going to turn up the attack to 4.9 milliseconds. The decay is going to come down a good bit. Sustain is going to go down almost to 0.01. And the release is going to come up just a little bit. So now we have this sound. Getting pretty close. We're going to add some chorus again. We're going to leave the mix where it's at and the rate where it's at. So 0.2 and 0.22. I'm not actually sure if these reset when I recall the default, so that's where they're at. And this sound is a little bit quieter than the other one, so I'm actually going to turn up the overall volume here, like 8 or 9 dB. So now we're here. Next, we're just going to give the sound some more space. So we're going to add some tape delay. We'll recall the default. We'll turn tempo sync off. And we're going to take it down to 191. Close enough. Feedback is going to go up to 23. And the wetness is going to come almost all the way down. Now we're here. Lastly, we'll add some reverb. And I'm using the soft plate plugin, which is in medium spaces. And since we're not using a bus, I've turned this down to -30 dB. And this is the pluck sound. Now, for a brief tutorial on how to play these parts, we can start off with the pluck sound since it's very simple. It's really just a sequence of 4 notes. It changes up a little bit in the bridge, but for the main parts of the song, you're just going E flat, F, A flat, B flat. And you repeat that, I believe, 3 or 4 times. Just like that. Now let's look at the stab sound. The stab sound mainly alternates between 2 chords, which we could call as being F7 sus and E flat 7 sus. But you could also look at it as a C minor 7 shape over an F, and then a B flat minor 7 shape over an E flat. So you would alternate these 2 sounds. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. And then for a second, you'll go to a D flat major 7, and then to a C augmented shape, or maybe C altered, and back to the F sus shape. So that part would be like this. And if you're using two hands, you could slide into that D flat chord. So altogether that would sound like 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Last but not least, I just want to give you guys a quick glimpse into how I would use these two sounds in MainStage, perhaps if I was actually going to play this song. I'm not going to get into the details of how to split sounds and whatnot in this tutorial, but very simply, I've got the stab sound down here and the pluck sound split up above here. I'm using my Prophet as a MIDI controller, but you can use whatever keyboard works for you. So a quick demo of playing both patches together would sound something like this. Just like that. And that's how you make the two sounds to 24K Magic by Bruno Mars. On their own, these are great sounds, and I'm sure along with playing this song, you can use them in a variety of applications. And once again, you can find these sounds in my new synth pack, which is linked in the description below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for watching Synth University.